Welcome to the Resilient Rebel Show. I am your host, Elian Haan. If you're exhausted from holding it all together, if you're stuck in a cycle of burnout, self-doubt, or waiting for that someday, you are in the right place. This is where we stop apologizing for who we are, start telling the truth, and take our power back. One bold, messy, beautiful step at a time. You belong here. Let's rise, rebel, and rediscover joy. Hi, thank you for listening in today. Welcome to this episode. We're going to talk about people pleasing. We're going to talk about releasing shame and perfection, stepping into your truth and your voice, and stepping into courage. And how are we going to go about all that? Welcome today. My name is Elian Haan. I'm going to guide you a little bit through these topics. And I just recently had talked about it in a speaking opportunity that I had, and really always love these topics. Why? Because we really need to step into that self, right? And this show is all about fighting these things that we used to think that were really, really, uh, important to be happy, important to make our life. And releasing these things from the past, that was expectations, maybe judgment, maybe fear, all those things that were holding us back to step into a true self. I did that in the past. I was stepping into perfection, trying to fit in. I was trying to hide my own shortcomings. I was ashamed. I had to release a lot of things. So today I'm going to give you some practical tools to step into that shift from awareness and then into action and then into confidence, right? That's what we want to do. What happens when we're people pleasing? There is a hidden toll that we're paying, my friends. What is really happening? Let's say physically. Physically, the body will keep you in a really low level state of fight and flight all the time. It's draining your energy because you're always trying to please somebody around you. It might be your own relationship. It might be your parents. It might be your in-laws. It might be other family. It might be friends. You're constantly doing something to be seen and to be heard. And it is not really necessary because it drains you. It also chips away at confidence and self-trust, right? Because you're not really sure where to set boundaries and how you can trust yourself to say no and step into that confidence of knowing what is good for you. And then, of course, we have to increase an increase of stress related health risks, right? That emotional exhaustion. You can't sleep, maybe. I mean, maybe you're constantly overworked. Maybe you're constantly overdoing. Maybe you're constantly over delivering and presenting yourself in a different way than the person you really like to be. So it is difficult. What can we do about it? People pleasing. I can give you an example. I mean, in the past, I was not really sure. I had times where I was trying to fit in. Of course, I was an outsider when I came to the United States. I was really trying just to run with the bunch, run with the gang, so to speak, and try to find out where I really needed to belong or where I really needed to be. Let me say it that way. And that was really not always easy. So I did a lot of things to make other people happy or try to make them see me or try to overwork or try to um, please my mother-in-law, right? Try to see if I could be the best person of the person and the version that they wanted to see. Just being like that is not a good state, right? It is not you. It is not your authentic you. So sometimes we have to say, if you have those moments of yes, and you say yes all the time, one good way of stepping out of that is telling yourself, if I say yes all the time, what am I really saying no to? What am I taking away from myself? Is it time because I'm doing too much? Is it work all the time because I'm trying to please my boss? I'm trying to make them see me and understand me and see my value and respect me. But what am I saying no to? Is it time with your family? Is it time for self? Is it time for others that really need your attention and that really love you for who you are? Right? There's always something that you're saying no to because you're doing so much in that moment, or maybe the whole day. So we're overworked. And it might come to a state of what I went through, or a state of just being drained all the time and just really losing yourself. So you can try to say yes, but at the same time, think about it and think about what you're saying no to. And then sometimes we want to step into recognizing body signals, right? The body is very important. You know it for me. I'm all into exercise, movement, and somatic therapy, and thinking about what we feel and how we feel it and how we can recognize it. And just listening to your own body is very important. What and where do you feel it first? It might be tight shoulders. It might be breathing constantly, but shallow, right? You feel that you're running be after your breath, right? You feel that you're always a step too late. And you really feel fatigue all the time, and you might even feel burnout. Those are stress cues, right? And those are stress cues that come from that pleasing, that over pleasing. So if you recognize that and you feel constant tightness in your shoulders and your back, it's time to stretch out. It's time to sit down. It's time to let go. It's time to really finding space for yourself and recognize what's really going on. You want to practice also saying no, right? And setting boundaries. And that is not easy. I used to not do that, didn't even believe in that. I thought that giving and giving and giving and overdoing and running and doing more than required was something that I was, that I thought it was important. I thought, I was brought up with that, right? It's not about me, it's about others. And I just want to do what others want me to do. I want to do what others expect me to do. And I want to just keep going and running fast. And of course, that is not good. So you walk at some point, you're just finding that roadblock, you walk into that wall. I did. And it started with me 20 years ago with a huge panic attack. And I just really didn't know what was going on. I was just trying to live my life for others. And I thought it was normal. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we can only do that from our cup that we fill ourselves, right? From our own good feeling about what we're doing. So we really have to be a little careful there and practice for yourself, starting to say no and setting boundaries. Another thing that I want to bring up with that is that we have to release that perfectionism. And that perfectionism sometimes is where we're hiding in. And what we're hiding from is just ourselves and maybe even shame and guilt, things that we're not proud of or things that we don't want others to see. And that shame drives overachievement all the time. It drives silence. And that perfectionism that hides behind rigid rules and fears of mistakes, right? We just keep going and try to be our best, the best mom, the best friend, the best spouse, the best partner, the best daughter-in-law, the best child. We are just trying so hard. And it's trying so hard takes so much energy. We want to try to step away from that a little bit. And what you can do to release that shame and perfectionism, if you are ashamed of, things that you have done, or ashamed of just the way you are, or you were having a lot of shame that was actually really embedded in trauma because you were always told that you were not good enough, not fast enough. You were too much, right? I suffered from that a lot. That I was told, she's overwhelming and too much and all that, right? And then you just crawl inside and you just don't want to be that anymore. So you try to bring up this other persona that is trying to do exactly what people would like to see. And for a while, I even stepped into that with the whole family because I thought that was the perfect thing to do, right? The perfect picture on the mantle, I always say. With the perfect family and the perfect kids and the perfect house and the perfect front yard and backyard. But it's really not about that. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to be human. We want to challenge. In my case, I really had to challenge these old beliefs. I'm not too much. I just have great energy. I have great love for a lot of people, for a lot of people. And I love to operate from love and from energy and to give hugs and to be myself and to step into places where I can bring my smile and bring my happiness. But I had to challenge those old beliefs and replace them with self-compassion truth. Those self-compassion truths were exactly that. I am not too much. I'm okay and I am absolutely fine, just the way I am. And I had to learn that, right? You have to challenge these beliefs, the things that you were taught, and the things that you were told. The things that you were taught, sometimes it just comes all the way back to our childhood. Sometimes it's early childhood friends. Sometimes it's in your 20s and 30s that you really start believing a lot of things that maybe are not that healthy for you. One of the things that you can really do for that, and that really helped me, is to say to myself, this is perfectionism. I'm trying to do this again. And it actually creates separation from my own self. Or this is shame. I'm trying to hide again, and I don't have to, because everybody has been through the same. To a certain extent, it might not be the same event or the same happening or the same people that happens to you. But it is just saying and naming it out loud that this is shame. I'm trying to hide something. It will make it disappear. It will help you step through, move with, and over that, right? And you can use grounding tools, which is really important. You have to sometimes breathe, use some movement to calm those triggers that might step up, right? Those triggers are still there. You might go like, whoa, I feel that again. I'm probably too much. I'm not good enough. I can feel it coming up by just what she said or what he said or what was just going on in this meeting. I feel it again. I don't belong here. And if you get triggered like that, just use grounding mechanisms like breathing and movement to calm those triggers. I have many, many, many coping skills that I can share with you as a coach. So always reach out if you are needing any of those, right? If you're in need of help and just not even help. I listen and I help you understand it, address it, and move through and with it, right? We want to share experiences with somebody who is safe. Sometimes it's really helpful if you're in the same Facebook group as others are, or like I said, if you're coaching with somebody, or if you're mentoring with somebody, if you're listening to people that are going through the same thing. I do a lot of groups and a lot of weekly workshops. I'm just starting one next week, and this is a great way to step into a small group where people are going through the same thing. So you want to share those experiences in a safe place. Empathy always dissolves shame, always. Because if you know that you're not alone, it's such a good feeling. So start speaking and talking, and then take intentional, good enough actions to make that imperfection feel safe. I always tell my clients, go do things that you feel safe with and that you feel complete with and that you're in control of. Do those things because it's good enough. It is just good enough. And if it doesn't get done today, it will get done tomorrow. Absolutely. And some other things that we're struggling sometimes with in that nervous system reset is just we have to find time to do so. We have to step back and take those nervous system resets in real time. One of the things that you can do for yourself is just a big sigh, right? Two short inhales and then a long inhale to calm that stress response. Just a long exhale. I'm sorry, long exhale, of course. So two short inhales and then really long exhale to calm your body down. And you can do some box breathing sometimes. That is inhale for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and hold for 4 counts again. And do that 10 times. It really helps a lot. And sometimes you have to engage your senses. You can go outside and just really focus on what you can feel, what you hear, what you see, and try to describe it to yourself. It's a great mindfulness exercise. And then we can do some humming or some chanting or some gentle singing to regulate our mood. Very important to take care of ourselves with these real-time nervous system resets. Very important. We have some tools as well to set your guilt-free boundaries, to take up that space and to speak your truth. And how can we speak our truth, right? We want to use I statements and own that perspective and pause before you respond. So don't react to things that are triggering for you. And even if you have a difficult conversation, just kind of step back and respond. Take a deep breath again, do some of that physical work, do some of that breathing, and then you use I statements. I believe that I just really, we can approach that differently. I believe that I somewhat agree with you, but I want to add something to that, right? Those statements, those I statements, you can own your perspective and your voice. It's really important. And set boundaries like this doesn't work for me. And you don't have to explain anything, right? Boundaries are so great. It is also very important, and I do this with my clients a lot, that you say, it is not for me tonight. It doesn't work for me, or I can't go there, or I don't have time. And you do not have to explain it. We're always over explaining, right? And a lot of my clients do that. And yeah, but I have to just kind of like let them know why I cannot be there tonight. No, if you just say to them, I can't make it because I have to take care of myself, that's more than enough. You don't even have to say, I want to take care of myself. You can just say, hey, I can't be there tonight, but thank you for the invitation, right? Let go of that fear of missing out because maybe it's not good for you at all to be there. And then sometimes we want to take up space physically as well, right? We want to use our posture to come in. And even if you're feeling insecure, you don't have a good day, or you're suffering from some self-esteem issues, you're working through that, but you don't feel it, your body will always help doing so. Use your posture and come in standing straight up. It makes such a huge difference versus you coming in with your shoulders dropped forwards. So claim your seat in the front row, project your voice, share your wins. Absolutely important. Something I never did because I thought that was a little bit over the top, right? If I was going to tell everybody what I'm good at or what I want to celebrate or what worked for me this week. No, absolutely. Share your wins is so important. I start every coaching session with that. And ask my clients or in my groups, what are you proud of? We want to look at that, and we forget that too many times. We forget our own accomplishments, the things that we have done, the things that work, the things that we have seen, gathered, and the things that we have learned. We just want to win. We want to see it as a win. We want to celebrate that and don't tuck it under the table. And then you want to pair those boundaries with some nervous system regulation, breathing, walking, and you want to see that as pure self-honoring time. It's important to take time out to just do that, to sit still or go for a walk if that's better for you. But see that and reframe that as self-honoring, right? It is really important to take that time for yourself. Really important. We have to step into the courage to be seen, heard, and respected. If we don't step into that courage, and it's the hardest thing to do. And people always ask me, yeah, but how do I do that? How do I step into courage? In the first place, I'll tell you that courage creates that confidence, right? If you just do it. It's really true. Just do it, right? The famous words, just do it. If you just do it, then afterwards you feel so much better. If it is taking your first class somewhere where you haven't been for a long time and you're kind of not fond of those settings, right? With people in a class, but you need to work out, you want to work out, do it the first time. You'll love it. Take an action is very important to feel that courage, to feel that you can step into things that you might not have done or that you used to be scared of. Stepping into courage is so important, right? Kind of know your values. It's really important to know your values and to know what you do and don't like. And then reframe that visibility as service. You want to be seen by others because they might need you. They want to be there for you. Or they want to let you know that you are seen and heard. heal those old wounds. It's really important. And therefore, you can always talk to somebody to do so. It's a wonderful thing. I didn't do it in the past. I was much for talking, right? Just taking action and pull yourself up by your bootstrap and just keep going and going and going. So just instead, just take a small action step forwards into something that you otherwise would not have done, but you really like to try out. Just do it, right? And that's really just do it. It's really just take action. It's scary, and there's never a good time. You can't wait for the right time. That doesn't exist, right? It's right now. And you feel so wonderful afterwards. And that creates that confidence to do it again and again and again. And there you can see your accomplishments. You can see them grow. You can see your wins. And you can see yourself growing to somebody who is away and steps away from people pleasing for the wrong reason. People pleasing for the wrong reason, right? Of course, we want to help. Of course, we want to do our work. Of course, we want to get paid even to do that work. But do you do too much? Are you over delivering and not being seen? Are you constantly worn out? That is unhealthy. So I want to step away from that. And if you need a place to come back to it because you feel like you're slipping and sliding into that overdoing everything, then just breathe and ground yourself and center yourself before you go back in. And lead with I believe, or I think. And just slow your pace, listen to others, and then come back. Use your posture, your voice, your projection, your visible positioning, right? We don't always have to sit in the back of the room. So sit in the front row and be there. Be visible. Step into your body, step into your voice. Right? We start low with low stakes and low steps, and then we're going to step a little bit further forward, right? Just start small. If you need any help, just reach out anytime. It is so important to step into that self-respect, the time for self, and the time to get to know yourself. Stop people pleasing and step into your own being. You can reach out anytime to me, elianhaan.net. And please ask me questions or react to this episode and let me know your thoughts. I truly appreciate that and I love you. Till next time.